Good morning. This is Christine Wainwright. My name's Steve Wainwright. We have and are celebrating being in business for 50 years. And this Mother's Day, which is today, it is officially 50 years. It's funny how things come about. In 1970, Christine and I were married, both pretty young, as you can tell. And I went back to college to finish my junior and senior year, and she went with me. And I had planned on, as soon as I graduated, coming back and going to work as a furnace foreman at Globe, because I had worked there all 4 summers, helped myself get through college. Well, in May 1972, my dad called me and said, I think you ought to reconsider going back to Globe. He said, I've just talked to, unfortunately, Dean Kincaid is very sick, our jeweler, and I think you ought to buy the jewelry store. And I said, Dad, you know I don't know anything about it. I like to make metal. He said, I know. A lot of good men have worked in that plant, and it's made a lot of families be able to survive, but it's hard work, and I would love to see you be able to work right beside me. And so one thing led to another, and I bought Dean Kincaid out on May the 17th, I believe it was. It was the Saturday of Mother's Day, or the 16th, 13th. Anyway, 2 weeks later, unfortunately, Dean told me, don't worry about it. You don't need to have any insurance or anything, because we got great safes and they broke in and took everything I had. So that was kind of a setback. So thanks to my father and the good Lord, we got started again. And we won't bore you with all the details, but we've had a lot of fun since then. And, we're still here today.
Because it's a small town, I'm lost for words right now.
Well, Chrissy's trying to tell you, we were talking about how do you think why have we been able to maintain our business for 50 years? And number one, of course, we both grew up here. We're both from here, and we were in our store every day. We lived here. We raised our children here. In fact, we raised Herb Cason's children right here behind the counter. And Frida Warren worked for Herb, and I can remember Jared and Katie wrapping presents every day and taking them over to Frida, and then we'd have to bring them back at the end of the day. And people realized we were a family, and they supported us, and God bless them, and thank you for doing that. That was one of the reasons that I think over the years we've been personable. We knew that when we sold you a piece of jewelry, we weren't just selling an object, we were selling a memory or a love or something that we wanted you to really be part of your family and take with you into last. And so that's what we tried to do anyway.
And we brought our kids to work with us when we had to. And the kids played out here in the front, and people didn't even think anything of it when they'd come in and see kids playing. So that was another good home thing that we could do because we were here.
And of course, having a Wildcat and a Cadet together didn't hurt, you know. Over the years, and I think back to, we've had some real characters that work for us. Now, the first grand old lady that worked for us was wonderful, Maxine Clark. Her husband Pootie worked up at High Power, but she was faithful. One thing she was an immaculate cleaner.
She cleaned every day.
Every day. You couldn't find anything or not, but we had Maxine. She was with us in the other store, and when we came over here, she carried cases and jewelry over here to start this store. My nephew, somewhere along the way, Jesse, decided he wanted to try being a jeweler, and he was here for about 4 years. Monica Sands was probably one of my longest. She worked here, and then when we opened our store in McConnellsville, she worked up there and worked there for several years until she moved on. Let's see, Christine, who else did I have? Nancy Bates. Nancy had never had a job.
She was also our babysitter. So
and I convinced her, because we sang in the choir together. We'd gone to church all our lives together.
We grew up together.
And grew up together. Her house was only 2 doors down from mine when we were growing up, and I convinced her to get a job, get out of the house, and she was wonderful. And so we learned the business again together.
And then his nephew Jesse came to work for us out of college, but now lives in California, and he went to both stores. He was
and I
back
know,
and forth.
please, if you work for me, and I know there's been a ton of you, especially young people at Christmas time, I would always get the young men and women that went to OU because they were on
a longer break.
quarters, and they had a long break, and they could work for me, and they were great.
And then it was Beth Branham came to work for us for a while, and then she left and bought the flower store. Beth Lauer worked for us. Juanita Lothry, my best friend, and she was beside us in the other shopping center for years.
And
Paulette's come and gone several times. She worked for us in McConnellsville, and she here, and then she took a break.
And now, speaking of McConnellsville, I had a young lady that turned into quite an employee and still works for me. She worked for me here, Amanda Hamble. She was Amanda Larrick, but she married Casey Hamble. Well, when they had their first child, then she told me, I'm not coming back. I'm going to be an at-home mother. Well, that lasted about 6 months because I got to get out of the house. Well, that time then, I needed a new manager in McConnellsville, and she's still doing that and still doing a wonderful job. She, in turn, needed help and found Sharice Ball for me. And so Sharice and Amanda run that store up there and do a marvelous job, and they're both Morgan County people. And
Tina, we forgot about Tina. She worked several years. Tina, Andy and Tina. So Miller, Tina Miller. Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah, she worked at IJ, and then she went on out to and helped me in my McConnellsville store. Now she owns her store in Reinersville, Miller Time. So over the years, I guess we've inspired others to try to make a little money, and but it is fun when you get to work with your family every day.
But we have Beth Branham almost every day now.
I will tell you this though, there were times when we weren't sure we were going to make it. There were a lot of times we'd go home and kick ourselves and say, what in the Sam hell have we done? But you know, I think it takes a good faith. It definitely takes a strong family to make it 50 years. And I don't know how much longer they're going to let me work, but I sure like coming in and seeing everybody every day. I do want to tell you about what's going to happen this week, because next weekend is going to be the official weekend celebration. All this week, everything in the store, everything is 25% off. In the store, next Friday and Saturday, everything in the store, everything is 40% off. We're not going through market it up to market down. You guys know me better than that. 40% off. The girls tell me they're going to take all the purses outside and hang them outside. We're going to have hot dogs and drinks for you to have for free while you're down here. I've got several giveaways. Also, the Big Food Little Kitchen. If you want something besides hot dogs, you can see them. You have to pay for that, but we'll give you the free hot dogs. We're going to have face painting. If you bring your children and want to come in and shop and let them be entertained with a little face painting, we're going to have that going on. We're also going to, as I said, have several very valuable giveaways. My staff has gone through and picked out, and I told them to pick out good, solid gold jewelry. And so everything that you win will be, you know, there's nothing less than $500. It's a lot of it is way over $1,000. We want you to win and take some memories home with you, and it's just another way of saying thanks. It's just pretty humble that you guys. I've told Christine, you know, we're sometimes now we're on our 3rd generation of selling kids engagement rings and send them, I hope, to happiness forever and ever. Because when Grandma and Grandpa and Mom and Dad and now the grandkids still come here, that really makes us feel like we've become part of your family.
One of the questions on here was, what are our favorite memories? I do tell you this one. I can remember our first customer. We took over about noon on May 13th. It was Mother's Day weekend, and it was Wayne Farnsworth. He bought and he's been a very good customer for years. He's come back several times. And like I said, all the people that we depend on repeat business. So we had a lot of people come and see us for years.
Yep. We couldn't have and cannot still make it without all the people coming back. And so again, it's just
I hope we've served you well.
yeah, it's just hard to say thank you to everybody, but we're trying to do it this weekend. Please come in and see us. Just if you don't need anything, just shout hi. Come in, sign up.
Come in and see Beth.
Come in, yes, come in and see Beth.
Our best employee right now.
Yep.
Oh, that'll make Amanda mad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Amanda, of course.
You're gonna
Of
talk too
course.
much, Christine, to get me in trouble.
They're
Again.
all good. They've all been great employees.
Yeah, we can't do it without, I guarantee you, without honest, caring employees. Employees that care as much about this store as I do, and that's the truth. So again, I hope you'll see it's going to be a fantastic week of weather. It's going to be a fantastic week of sales, and our way of saying thank you. I've got hats for the guys, can coolies. I got shopping bags for the ladies.
And a lot of jewelry to give away.
And a lot of jewelry to give away. Also, one little thing my daughter came up with, we're going to give away bucks like this. For every $100 you spend, we'll throw in another 10 that you can spend anytime, anywhere, as long as I'm in business. You can hold this till next Christmas. If you spend $1,000, I'm going to give you $100 to spend next Christmas, next Valentine's, next anniversary. Just another way of saying thanks. Again, we're probably the only store that I know of that if you buy a ring and you need it sized and I'm in the store, I'll size it while you wait. And I think that's another reason we've been successful. I know if I buy something, I want somebody to service me and appreciate what I just bought. And that's what I have tried over the years to reject. That it means so much to me to be able to sell you something. And Christine, I mean, honestly, she told me she quit and she wouldn't come back, but I'm forcing her back to work this weekend. So we just want to say thanks, right, hon?
Yes, thank you, everybody.
We won't get too modeling here. I have some jokes I'll tell
No.
while we're on, not on camera, but while we're in the store, you know. Also, over the years, my coffee pot's always been on, and I've developed every now and then a coffee clutch. Well, the first one came when my UPS man from years ago, Dennis Walburn, started picking up ham salad from Save More and a bag of chips. And this was back when they couldn't track you. And he would spend, I don't know how many minutes or half hours or time here, and we would solve the world's problems. Then later on came Whitey Myers, and both became my dearest and dearest best friends. They didn't sell any jewelry, but we usually solved the problems of the world, and they were awful, awesome friends that just became part of my back store clutch that I could depend on. I would have been remiss without speaking about them. And then again, I didn't say enough really about Beth. She was Schweikert to me, but Beth Lauer, she was a longtime employee that just was so dependable. She would have, like I said, I would have not been where I'm at today with all the greatest employees that I've had. So I hope you'll come out. And again, if you've got any reason to buy jewelry, this is the place to get it this week. And we'll take care of you again once. Come on and see us. Thank you.
Hello, Steve and Chris. Happy 50th anniversary in the jewelry store. What an amazing accomplishment. We couldn't be more proud of both of you. I think my first memory of working in the jewelry store was when I was in high school. And you were in the old store down past the Save More, and you had asked me to work during the Christmas holiday. I said, sure, my first chance at retail, other than at the Save More. And lo and behold, I had the opportunity to sell a beautiful yellow gold locket to this nice young gentleman. It was a Christmas gift for his wife. At the end of the sale, he said to me, oh, can you engrave that? And I said, in typical Wainwright fashion, of course we can. And so I said, please come back in half an hour. He turned and left. I took the locket back to where you were, Steve, and said, here you go, you'd like an M. And you said, go ahead. And I said, I've only done charms, I can't do a locket. And you said, sure you can. So I proceeded to put the locket in the engraver. I had the M, it's the script, beautiful script M completed, and all of a sudden, the grips loosened, and sure enough, I had a big diagonal line going through the last yellow gold locket in the store. I cried immediately. You put your arm around me and said, don't worry. You went out, you found another beautiful white gold, bigger locket. You engraved an M. And when the gentleman came back, you showed him the locket. He loved it. And he, of course, forgave me. And he was another happy customer. So that was my first bout at that. I got better at engraving with your help, but I really appreciated your patience and your guidance. And again, he was a happy customer. Many, many times we worked there. One of the things that also comes out, I would say at Christmas time, I worked there during college. I'd come home and nothing was more fun. We had more laughs. We worked hard. Daddy would bring home over our lunch. It was usually a broadtail fish sandwich that he cooked in the chicken plucker. And we all ate in the back. But nothing was better than turning on the Statler Brothers Christmas album and singing away whenever the customers weren't in the store. Nothing says Christmas at my house until I put in that Statler Brothers CD. Many, many good memories, you guys. It's been an incredible 50 years, and I'm happy to have been a part of it, and so proud of both of you guys and the business and the legacy that you've built. Congratulations, and have a great anniversary. Love you.
Happy anniversary to you guys. That's just a great thing. I can't believe it's been 50 years. I loved working for you guys, and it was just the best job ever. You guys are the best bosses ever. And see, I got my necklace on you got me 40 years ago or whatever. Just want to say I'm happy for you. Hope it's many more years. Love you guys.
Hey, Steve and Chris. Just thought I'd reach out and say congratulations on 50 amazing years. I'm so lucky and blessed to have been a part of it. And even though it's a very small part, I still consider the time that I spent there as just some of the best of my life. It was so much fun, and I had such a good time and learned a lot about jewelry. And I still brag about it to anyone who'll listen. And old habits die hard. I have multiple hoods that I put on when I want to work on something up close. And my kids are like, hey, you just put batteries in something. And I say, hey, you'll get here. All right, you'll get here soon enough. Anyway, love you guys and hope it is a tremendous year for you.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
Love you. Hope you have the best day.
Happy anniversary, Chris and Steve, to some very dear friends. Have so many happy memories with you guys. May you be blessed with many more years.
Hello, happy 50th. Being in business for 50 years was quite an accomplishment, and you both are great bosses. And of course, when everybody asks me where I get all my jewelry, of course I say, Wainwright's Jewelry.
Hey, we're about out of paper! Oh goodness. Oh goodness, let me turn this down. Oh my, I just heard about some exciting news. It's Wainwright's Jewelry 50th anniversary. So when I heard that news, it brought me right back to my favorite times at Wainwright's Jewelry from the time I was maybe 10 or 11, 12 years old until I was through college. The best times at Wainwright's Jewelry were, for me, Christmas, because you got to hear the Statler Brothers. You got to learn every word to every Christmas CD, and actually at the time I believe they were 8 tracks, but especially Alabama, the Statler Brothers, and the Muppets. Again, those were special times because we as a family got to see Steve and Christine Wainwright build a relationship with the Beverly Waterford communities, and in fact the Beverly Waterford communities built a relationship with Wainwright's Jewelry. Nothing could make your father and your mom prouder than that, and nothing could make us happier than to watch those 50 years go by in a flash and to see how much they meant to you. So thank you for my great memories of Wainwright's Jewelry growing up and of all you do for the community. Here's to you, and if at some time I get to the point where I'm not doing some ridiculous full-time gig, I'm ready to come back and wrap presents every Christmas. Love you guys. Cheers to you. Congratulations, 50 years.
Hi, Steve and Chris. I can't believe that this is 50 years of being in business. The time has flown by so fast. I just wanted to say to you that it was an honor and a privilege to have worked for you for those 14 years. Our friendship started many, many years before that, and it continues today. And I just want you to know how much we love you and are so proud of this moment for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.